Islam Makhachev's dream of double champ glory might explode in his face at UFC 322 because Jack Della Maddalena isn't coming to survive. He's coming to finish him in the first round.
Legitimate best fighter at 155 pounds on planet Earth, and he's done that 5 times. Won the belt and then defended it 4 times. And now he said, right, I've done that. I've clearly proven that at 155 I'm the man. Let's see if I can do it at 170. It's incredible.
The warning signs are already flashing. Fighters, analysts, even legends are saying the same thing. Islam better not underestimate this Aussie assassin. Inside every camp, there's buzz that Makhachev's wrestling dominance might finally meet its match. But if you think this fight is one-dimensional, think again, because what Jack and Israel Adesanya just said about Islam's grappling completely flips the script.
Gets on top, like when Islam gets on top, a lot of guys just stop moving and they sort of take the time, and that, like, when you take that time, he's already onto the next bit, and he's like pushing you down, and then, so I think, not move, like, never stop moving.
I think it's the urgency. You're just going to be too, even if you have to give up your back to get into a grandy roar that he tries to, you just, because I think Volk did the same thing as well. Here in Perth, when I was watching that, I was like, he was trying to beat 2 moves or 3 moves ahead of Volk, but Volk was like 4 or 5 moves ahead, being like, cool, bop, bop, and Volk was using his one butterfly just to like kick him off, and for me,
elevating the hips and stuff.
Bro, beautiful, man. Again, I've got these legs. I use butterflies once in a while. I have certain moves, but it's hard, especially when you have long legs. But you just have to train it, do it over and over again, just so you have the endurance to do it. But it's impressive, man. And the way you do it as well, like I said, the urgency, I just don't think he's going to be able to keep you down.
Adesanya broke it down with surgical precision. When Islam gets on top, he said, most fighters freeze. That's the mistake. And Jack, he refuses to freeze. He's planning to turn Islam's control into chaos. Movement, angles, escapes. He studied Volkanovski's blueprint, and he's ready to stay one step ahead. Adesanya believes that by the 4th takedown attempt, Islam will realize he's chasing a ghost, and that's when Jack strikes.
I think there's going to be a point in this fight, this is just my biasness speaking, it's just like, there's going to be a point where by the 3rd or 4th takedown attempt, maybe 6th takedown attempt, and he realizes, oh shit, it might be the 2nd round, 3rd round. Okay, this guy is not staying down. He's still right here. You'll notice it. You know the feeling when like a guy decides, fuck, this guy's not going anywhere, and then you smell the blood in the water. There's gonna be a moment in this fight that will happen. I predict maybe 3rd, 4th, sure. And then that's when you're gonna see him just
do the work. That's it.
I can't wait.
But here's the wild twist. Adesanya admitted he first thought this matchup was disrespectful. He said, I thought, why throw Jack in there now? Then he realized, this isn't about disrespect. It's about respecting Islam's greatness enough to give him the biggest threat possible. That's the UFC saying, you want double champ status? Earn it the hard way.
You will go all the way, but look at him now. I think you're gonna do some great things in this division. It needs it though, that's the thing. Even for me, the fact that they give you Islam straight away, I was thinking, is that disrespectful? But I said, nah, I won't say it's disrespectful. They just respect Islam and they want to give him a shot for the belt so he can be, like Alex did, go double champ status. But I'm like,
And that's exactly what Jack plans to do. He's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for Volkanovski, for Australia, for redemption. He said watching Volk go to war with Islam gave him confidence, and now he wants to finish the story his countrymen started.
Have you always been welterweight, or were you?
I had one fight. Nah, it was always welterweight. I had one fight at middleweight, but pretty much always welterweight.
Yeah. Do you feel like your body is still growing, or you'll stay around in this weight class for?
My weight cuts are pretty easy, pretty easy, but not easy enough to drop down to lightweight.
What do you walk around like normally? What do you walk around at?
I'm probably like 87 kilos. That'd be like heavy. That's light, That's like heavy for me. Like 87's like
after a meal.
Pretty much just eating.
So if you're in camp, then it's like maybe 85-ish. 85. Oh, that's a light cut for him.
It's easy.
Going up to 77.
It's pretty easy.
But don't blink, because coming up, what Michael Bisping and Dan Hooker just said about Islam's legacy could change how fans see this fight forever.
Is there any part of you that's like the whole Volk Islam thing, like he's an idol of yours and you love watching, it's like, geez, I'd just love to get that back for Australia and Volk?
Yeah, for sure. Just watching what Volk did to him. Like that first fight definitely gives me confidence. You know, I aspire to be someone like a champion like Volk, and yeah, I'm definitely want to get it back for him.
Mate,
for Aussies.
Absolutely.
Bisping went all in, calling this the defining moment of Islam's career. Beat Jack, defend the belt a few more times, he said, and you're in GOAT territory. If Islam conquers welterweight, Sean Brady, Shavkat, all of them, he's not just a legend, he's a myth, but not everyone agrees.
Looking at his record, and you're seeing Moicano, Dustin Poirier, Volkanovski twice in a row, Charles Oliveira, and then if you were a critic, then you start talking about Bobby Green. There's Dan Hooker, who's a tremendous fighter, Drew Dober, Davey Hamosh, Arman Sarukian. You know what I'm saying? So that hasn't aged bad. So yeah. I mean, listen, if he gets the job done, I think without question, he deserves to be in that conversation.
Yeah, and dude, let alone if he can defend that belt a couple times against a Sean Brady, against a Shavkat, against any of these super high level welterweights, like I think that would kind of push his legacy over the edge. And I think we're having conversations about him being top 3 or number 1. If he defends
without a shadow of a doubt. If he can beat Jack, and again, it's a big if. I'm not sure what the odds are on that fight, but if he can beat Jack and go on a run and defend it 2 or 3 times, it's insane.
Michael Chandler threw gasoline on the fire by giving Jack the edge. Jack's not fancy, he said. He's violent. Chandler believes Islam's toughest test won't be a wrestler. It'll be a striker who doesn't stop pressing. Sure, Islam's wrestled monsters all his life, but what happens when a man hits you harder than anyone before and refuses to go down? Chandler thinks that's where Jack wins.
I think Islam does next weekend.
JDM is a tough. He's not much of a puzzle, man. He's pretty basic, but he is brilliant and violent and devastating with the basics, man. A little bit of range, a little bit of reach on Islam, and I won't even sit there and say, because Islam's a different breed, man. I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, he's a 155er, so he's not used to going with 170 pounders. I would not be surprised if Islam, his entire career, has been sparring with 55, 70, 185, and 205ers, because the dude's kind of a nut. So I think I don't think strength or size is going to be the problem. It's really going to be the dichotomy between JDM's great striking abilities and is his takedown defense enough to stop the onslaught of wrestling that Islam's going to bring.
Jack's not buying into Islam's aura either. He said Dustin Poirier hits hard, but not as hard as he does. He expects to tag Islam early, and when that happens, he says Makhachev will panic wrestle. That's when Jack plans to break him.
I do think, even the stand-up battle against Poirier does hit hard, because I've witnessed that and felt it firsthand, but there's no way he hits as hard as JDM. So I think it'll be interesting, man. I think Islam's going to get tagged up a couple times, and we're going to see if he goes to that wrestling pretty quick. But I think JDM's a monster, man. I think I give JDM the slight favor, or the slight nod in that one. But I would not be surprised if Islam is holding the belt, and then now you got a whole nother conundrum where you got Ilya and him wanting the super fight and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens, man. Crazy sport.
And then Dan Hooker, Islam's former rival, dropped the biggest curveball yet. He said, Islam's fight IQ is elite, but Jack's size changes everything. Hooker believes Jack's frame gives him the physical edge. If he makes Islam carry his weight, Hooker said, it's going to feel like drowning in slow motion.
I think Jack, just because of the size advantage, like the later it goes, like that's the thing. Being the bigger, stronger guy, it's effective if you can make the other fighter carry your weight. Jack being a bigger guy, I feel like the longer the fight goes, Islam's not used to carrying that same amount of weight into deep waters. I feel like just Jack's frame and size will give him the advantage if it goes later into the fight. But Islam Makhachev is an incredibly smart fighter. On the feet, he's very hard to hit. He doesn't like getting hit at all. And then he's also very conservative on the ground. He's a very hard guy to touch. He's a very hard guy to start putting some damage on. But Jack Della, I feel like there's no one better than him right now at welterweight, and I see him winning this fight.
But Hooker didn't stop there. He made it personal. Islam's chasing the double belt because he wants to step out of Khabib's shadow. Think about that. Hooker believes this isn't just about legacy, it's about identity. Islam wants to prove he's not just Khabib's student. He's Khabib's successor and surpasser.
I'd say the pressure's about the same, more for like coming from Jack Della, because he's fighting the smaller guy. Like, you're not whenever a fighter moves up a weight class to challenge for that title, it's Jack defending his belt. He's warding off the enemy, and especially from a smaller weight class, he should be the guy with all the advantages coming into this. Makhachev, though, he's striving for greatness. He's striving for something that from someone from his team, like that's him. He's kind of been in Khabib's shadow for a very long period of time, so he's thinking, how do I step out of Khabib's shadow and surpass him and move up a weight class, become a double weight champion? Is something that Khabib never accomplished.
Yeah.
And the GOAT conversation, Bisping doubled down. He called Islam the most accomplished lightweight in history. 4 title defenses, unbeaten streak, a move to welterweight that could change the sport's history. He said Islam doesn't need this. He's already rich, already respected, but greatness never rests.
I think I'm right in saying this, the most successful lightweight ever, defended the belt 4 times.
Yep.
The record previously was 3, so that's phenomenal, and we all know about the lightweight division and how stacked that is. I mean, he's defended the belt 4 times. He's from what I understand, quite a simple man, so, be great, step up to another weight class, take out someone else, Madison Square Garden. These are the moments that as a fighter we live for, these kind of super fight moments, Of course, he's making a tremendous living. He doesn't want to do this forever, and he can go back to his farm in Dagestan and he can live a nice, simple life and know that he's been there, done that, and tested himself. That's what we want to do as fighters.
But before you crown him, remember, Jack's been here before. He fought Balal Muhammad and walked away believing he won every round. Balal's awkward style made him work, but Jack's footwork and composure carried him. Now Balal himself is warning the world, if Jack makes one mistake on the ground, it's over.
Islam doing it now, when he's defended the belt 4 times. He's defended the belt 4 times, the lightweight division. He's kind of gone through all the big stars there. Okay, let's go up to welterweight. Let's try something new. Let's try and do something that's never been done. Whereas a lot of the time we see fighters, they instantly become the champ, and they want to defend, they want to challenge for another belt in another weight class, because there's no risk there. There's no risk. If you lose, you're still the champ at 155 or whatever weight class it is. He's done it. He's defended the belt 4 times. He's proven that he was the legitimate best fighter at 155 pounds on planet Earth, and he's done that 5 times, won the belt and then defended it 4 times. And now he said, right, I've done that. I've clearly proven that at 155 I'm the man. Let's see if I can do it at 170. It's incredible.
Balal laid it out cold. You can let Islam push you to the fence. That sets death. He pointed to the Dustin Poirier fight. Islam corrals you, smothers you, and then ends you. Balal predicts that same relentless pace will break Jacksep's defense, but admits Jacksep's not the type to fold.
I felt like I was in control. He has a pretty funky style. It's hard to he has a weird style. Just continuously swap stances and sort of just moves forward. So going into that fight, a lot of it was like footwork would probably be a big factor. Just trying to stay away from him, but still be able to get the damage. But I feel like as the rounds progressed, I thought I was in control. That's how I thought. Like each round, I thought I had a good round. So I thought I was up every round, to be honest. Then looking back on it, it was probably a bit closer than maybe what I thought, but I was never in danger. Never,
That's what you're feeling. That's the thing. You're the one in the fight as well.
And that's where it gets dangerous, because Jack's confidence isn't just talk. He genuinely believes he can out-grapple Makhachev. He said Islam expects easy takedowns, but he's ready to turn every grip, every scramble into a trap. That's a dangerous mindset against a control specialist like Islam.
Islam versus Jack, for me, breaking down this fight stylistically, obviously trained with Islam, fought Jack. It's going to come down to if it hits the ground. If it hits the ground for Islam, I think his top game is going to be really good. He's very smart, very controlled, doesn't let you off the hook when you make a mistake. Jack makes mistakes on the ground. He uses it to scramble. He has good scrambling ability. He has moments where he's like lapses safety, right? He'll give up his back, he'll give up his neck, he'll give up arm triangle. And you can't do that with Islam. Islam's gonna see that, and he's gonna exploit it. I think if Islam comes out wrestling right away and forcing that takedown right away, making that work, it's gonna be a long night for Jack.
Jack says he sits walking the same path as Volkanovski and Whitaker. He sits chasing that Aussie legacy. Vok showed me what sits possible, he said. Now it sits my turn to finish it.
Seeing him, being in there with him, he's very smart. He's good on the feet. He has good hands. He doesn't give up on himself. He always pushes through. So Jack's not gonna be like a quitter, but he has to take the center. He has to be in the middle. He has to force the action and try not to get his back to the fence, because we've seen in the Poirier fight, Islam really wants to get you to the fence. Poirier did a good job of keeping the center, and he defended a couple takedowns. But honestly, I just think that Islam's takedown offense is going to be more than Jack's takedown defense, and then when it goes to the ground, it's going to be a bad night. But if Jack can avoid some of those spots, there'll be moments for him. If he can make it to the 4th, 5th round, we'll see how Islam.
But Balal offered one last reality check. He said, Vok was hard to hold down because he's compact and explosive. Jack's taller, longer, that gives Islam more control. And yet, Jack's reach gives him something Vok didn't have the ability to hurt Islam before the takedown even happens.
What's something that you think he's probably not going to be prepared for in you, where he's kind of underestimating you?
I think maybe the grappling. I think his best case, he probably in his best mind would be thinking, take me down, hold me down, submit me. So I think the grappling, I'll be able to surprise him.
Yeah, just a strength in the grappling as well.
Yeah, I believe so. The right techniques for his sort of A game, I think will throw him off a bit.
And if you think the drama ends there, wait till you hear what Chael Sonnen and Daniel Cormier said. They both believe this move to welterweight is Islam Sip's defining rebellion. Chael said, even if he never says it, this is Islam Sip's. Break from Khabib Sip's shadow. This is where his legacy begins.
I guess, do you remember the first time you met Volk?
Yeah, it must have been around when he fought Islam the first time, I'm sure, in Perth. Actually, no, he commentated a fight. I fought a guy named Kevin Jousset on the local scene in Melbourne, and he commentated a fight of mine. And that was the first time I'd met him.
Yeah.
And that was surreal. I think that was just before he won the world title. So yeah, that was the first time I met him, and he was obviously an idol of mine then, and then he went on to do what he did. Him win the world title, and then go on to like reign as a defending one of the great champions ever. Definitely inspiring. It definitely made me believe that I could do it way more.
Yeah.
Just seeing another Aussie clear the path.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rob did it. And then Volk even cleared an even bigger path, so yeah, I'm just following their footsteps.
Cormier added, years from now, his grandkids will talk about this fight, the night Islam stopped following and started leading. That's why UFC 322 isn't just another card. It's a collision of legacies. A world-class striker who wants revenge for his country versus a grappling genius trying to outgrow his mentor's legend.
We've seen him in longer fights, obviously fighting for Volkanovski, who probably did the best with him on the ground, but Volkanovski is a little ball of muscle, right? He's short. It's harder to control shorter guys. Jack is longer. So he's gonna have a longer torso for Islam to control, a longer torso for him to get on top of. Volkanovski made those spots harder because he's very short, he's very hard to read. Even with the striking, he's like a little bit more faster with his combinations. Jack does longer combinations, but I think Volkanovski is more explosive. And like I said, it's always harder to fight shorter guys. And fighting in Australia was a very hard spot, I think, for Islam.
I'd love to hear it from him. He earned this the hard way. He cleaned out a division, maybe the hardest division in the sport. He's moved to another division. This is what it's all about. And not to mention, it's something he will never discuss. But if you don't always want to be the heir apparent to King Khabib's throne, you gotta do something that Khabib didn't do. And this is his opportunity. And I know inside that's not his motivation. He is not trying to show up Khabib. But I am just suggesting at some point his grandkids are going to look back on his career and they will now have something they can turn to that is different than Uncle Khabib.
Yeah, he said that the other day. Somebody asked him, like, well, if it doesn't matter for you, he goes, what a stupid question. He goes, Khabib's my brother. He goes, I don't want to do anything better than him. He goes, we do this together, but this is for my legacy. And right now, Islam's on the verge of legacy.
So let's make one thing clear. When that cage door shuts, we're not just watching a fight. We're watching two empires collide. Who do you think survives the storm? Islam Makhachev, the machine built from Dagestani's mountains? Or Della Maddalena, the Aussie sniper chasing destiny under Madison Square Garden's lights? Because no matter how this ends, one man walks out a legend and the other walks out broken.